This video is dedicated to a few of my favorite YouTubers.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All of you can suck my dick. 1, 2, 3 bitches on me. All of them have sucked my dick. I got on a plain white tee. I wish that it had your pic on it. That would fill me with glee. That would make me so happy. I'm just a son of the madness. Counting this money, forget all the sadness. I got a bitch and I'm breaking her back. Smoking my dick on a motherfucking addict. I'm in that bitch and she tell me who dad is. I got this. Bitch ass nigga looks just like Raditz.
All of Jacob's videos have been taken off of his YouTube. I expect some is left on the Internet Archive for those curious, but the good news is I have more than enough here. That being said though, if there's a missing image or something, you know why. When does something become concerning enough to report? Let's start with something easy.
So today's April 11th, and a few days ago, I got my baby. Check it out. This is a Mossberg 500 pump action 12 gauge shotgun. And it is gonna be my ticket out of here. And I cannot fucking wait to use it.
I think within the first 15 seconds of this, we can immediately tell something is seriously wrong. Calling a shotgun your baby, much less your ticket out of here that you can't wait to use. Randy Stair was a walking red flag. And a few weeks after making that video, he would use that shotgun and another to kill his coworkers at a local supermarket. But how about this? Now, most of you will have probably already seen this video or at least know about it. But for the sake of what we're talking about, I want you to look at it with fresh eyes. Really listen to what he's saying.
Hey, Elliot Roger here. I've been doing a lot of thinking about how sad and unfair my life has been. All because girls haven't been attracted to me. I've been going through college for 2.5 years now. And in those 2.5 years, I've had to rot in bleak and sad loneliness, while other guys get to enjoy all the pleasures of, sex and socializing and partying. I've never had a taste of that, because no girls give me a chance. No girl at my college has ever expressed any interest in me. I mean, you give a chance to all these stupid, obnoxious guys that I see you walking with, but you don't give a chance to me. Why not?
Say what you will about his ridiculous diatribe towards women, his disgruntled attitude towards society. However, with just that clip in tow, would you report Elliot Roger to the police? I don't think you would. But only a few days after making that video, Elliot Roger went on a spree shooting and earned himself the moniker of Incel King to the delusional masses of mentally ill, insecure men. I think our case today walks a line between these two examples. But by the end, I think you'll understand why I feel the way I do. Meet Jacob Yerkes. He lives in Knoxville, Tennessee, and right now he's going viral with 8 million views and counting on Twitter. But put a pin in that for now, and let's talk about the First Amendment. Have you ever heard of First Amendment auditors? I hadn't until one of my favorite streamers, Deadwing Dork, did an almost 4-hour deep dive stream watching some of their content.
This is what this is all about. Are you trying to...
First Amendment auditing, or 1A auditing, is when people go into a public forum, such as a post office or a county clerk's office, and usually they just they take out their cameras and they film, and then they try to like conduct business, and they wait for somebody to say that they can't film in the building, and then they smugly respond that it's within their First Amendment right to, as it's a public forum, etc., etc., etc. It rides on quite a few little rules that are, you know, technicalities almost. And they sort of take advantage of this to make people angry, make content. Oh, and then they always mention that they paid for the building, like through their government taxes, and that they pay the underpaid government workers' job, which, like, if anything, is going to make them angrier, as, again, they're underpaid. The psychology of these people fascinate me a lot, and many of them share some similarities with the philosophy of the incels. For one thing, many of these 1A auditors have some delusional grandeur in what they're doing. They have a perceived importance that they usually compare to the troops. If Jacob's videos were not taken down, I could show you probably 3 or 4 times in which he compares his activities of going to the post office and filming to the troops dying for our rights. So that's, you know, happy Veterans Day, everyone. Terminal Napoleonic Syndrome patients. Do you think that these soldiers are dying for the right to film within a post office? Do you really think the best use of enforcing your limited time and energy to protect our rights is this? I gained a lot of fascination and curiosity towards the ideology of the 1A auditors after Deadwing's stream. But I never really thought about them again. That was until I found Jacob's YouTube channel. There's a connection that's always been there, but I just needed the right angle or person to see it. Both 1A auditing and incels feel the need to display their power after something they feel unfair happens. Both take their rage on institutions out on random people, and both are very self-aggrandizing. So, I have a little joke for you all. What do you get when you cross a mentally ill incel with assumptions he'll make it big DJing with a culture of libertarian virtue signaling? You get Jake or the Knoxvillian Sentinel, I guess. Rather than attempting to parse through the videos with you, I will spare us the time, energy, boredom, and cringe. And, like I said earlier, even if I wanted to, I couldn't, as they're gone now. Jake made his YouTube channel back in 2015, but his first public upload is from a year ago. He thinks himself a good DJ, and I suppose a rapper, with classics like Gramps, a memorial song to his grandfather, which I will play now.
Grandfather, you have passed to the next life. Watch over my family and strife.
Man of Many Cultures, which no longer exists, and many other songs, which are either just extreme noise, screamo rap, or quote-unquote dubstep. I'm putting dubstep in quotes because, look, I like every single genre out there. One of my roommates in college introduced me to dubstep outside of the vanilla Skrillex bullshit. It can go hard. This, on the other hand, this is we not making it out of the hood type of tune. I rarely ever understand any of the words of his songs, but thankfully, we do have the lyrics he graciously provided to several, along with a few attempts of my own at transcription. Here is Critical Grace Theory.
Idiots. You know?
To be free from chains, razor brains, the flames incinerate and penetrate the domain of fake gains. As if people are fighting over brains, being saying sometimes the racism shines through so fine as if we did already answer some crimes. You fuckface.
Yep. Fast forward a few months from Gramps, and we've got Glory to His Name, which is clearly supposed to be a shout out God type of track, based on the cross. Yeah. I am going to spare you the audio, and I don't know what I'm unsure about. Let's explore this together. So, and when you listen to this, tell me, is this really a song about Jesus at all? Tell me that. Oh, I breathe in, I breathe out. I don't know what I'm unsure about. Why did the line seem so thin? I haven't made my amends. I pray to a higher power. Guide me through these showers. Light the way, it seems so gray. It all starts to fade. Light shines through birds' blue. I am finally reborn anew. Like a lone star in the night. Have to start somewhere to achieve the light. God be me alone. God throw these stones. Skip a rock and ripple the way with God. God must be what's beyond me. Believes, leaving trees' feet. There's gotta be another way. Pave that isn't faded gray. Let it waste the shame it bring. Or a pain. We love you, Jesus. Glory to his name. God, start spreading word of love from the bright side. Too much will capsize a ship without any permits. Tough love will nudge, but how dumb. We're in the dark heart. Is your savor? So listen to these words I sing. We have faith to what will come and bring. We act with no release or no sting. The sun gives light to someday. My grave has reached such heights. The truth talk looks so slick, perfect for a nest to fit. The rest to feed with the kid. In my true bag I find truth. The place to steep my mind with the tooth. Fill in the hearts of groups of faith and no lube. I just gotta sing my song. I know that sometimes it seems wrong. Maybe I'm just doing my best. Maybe that's the rest. I don't know which way.
Maybe the pave is gray. Maybe the pave is white. Maybe the pave is black. Maybe there is no way but through.
To me, it sounds like Psychosis, and I don't think I'm being harsh when I say that. It makes very little sense. And genuinely, like, that is one of the songs I was able to understand the best. And with a lot of those lines, aside from the ones that have question marks, I am like 80% confident in what they say. So make of that what you will. So there's a decent selection of songs with his amazing vocals, but after 30 seconds of attempts on most of them, I had to give up for my own mental health and well-being. It is some of the worst, most ear-grating music I have ever heard. And I have a horrible cringe rap about Fortnite that was made by a 14-year-old kid.
Fortnite.
Let's skip ahead a bit to Between the Boundaries, okay? I have no idea what this one says or what the lyrics are, but I am admittedly a bit disconcerted that this video was able to make it onto YouTube Kids with this thumbnail. Yeah. The next day, he'd upload, "If I still loved you, why didn't I chase?" Again, I'm going to spare you the actual audio of this one because I was able to translate it pretty well.
Ah. When I close my eyes, I see your face. Beauty felt, a darkness in space. Wrapped like a warm blanket, in place. I stay and watch, just to feel your embrace. Babe, I miss you so much. My family friends don't matter, compared to your touch. My heart is sweeter than roast. I'm actually smart, lost in the womb. Why did you leave, if you loved me? If I loved you, why didn't I chase? I still haven't forgotten the taste of your lips. Babe, you have the sweetest kiss. Can't hide all of those nights I cried. Babe, if you're out there, I have a present I can't hide. Pluto still has a heart. He's willing to give, you know, it's inside. No idea. So, I will give you a sign. Why did you leave if you still love me? If I loved you, why didn't I chase?
Still haven't forgotten the taste of your lips. Baby, you have the sweetest kiss.
I have here, delightful has crest, couldn't be gems, seems like forever, outside, I sit in for, proper sky, and break for the motions. So I'm focusing on this song because unfortunately the subject matter of it would come back into relevancy later. Put another pin in that one though, and let's get back to 1A auditing. Now, these videos, before he went viral, are what Jacob was known for. As you can see, they received far more views than any of his DJing he claims he'll get big for. Only one day after the weird incel love song, Jacob would make his first 1A auditing video in his hometown of Knoxville, visiting their post office. Dub for the 1A auditors, as is clear in the comments section. 2 weeks later, he hit Cedar Bluff post office and had a similar thing happen. Again, the 1A auditors are behind him, and it even seems like some accounts have started taking inspiration from his videos and started doing audits of their own. So now that we have talked about the very temporary success of Jacob's YouTube channel, we can go straight to the nuclear meltdown. But, like Chernobyl, Jacob's career didn't all fall apart at once. It started with this video, 2 weeks ago. Now, I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it's the blatant antagonism he employs against some of the government employees, or the pompous attitude he displays in front of law enforcement. But it seems like he lost the support he built for himself. Now, even the 1A auditors were against him. Unfortunately, or, well, fortunately for us, I guess, this wasn't his last audit video, nor was it his worst. Welcome to the worst 1A auditing video I've ever seen in my life. And that is really saying something, as I have probably seen more 1A auditing than anyone else watching this video. So, I guess I'm like the resident 1A auditing expert. 12 days ago, Jacob uploaded his audit of the Knox County Clerk's office. Before entering, He enlightens us with his theory on the popular blue-like V word that YouTube is not a fan of. I am not going to play what he says. They made the V word up. They made it up, and the reason they did that is so that they could sell us Delta 8, and the Delta 8's bad, and it's gonna kill us and ruin our lungs. And then when it kills us, though, we're just gonna say that it was the V word. Oh, and then, but then, like, so many people like that died didn't use D8. Like, this doesn't even stand up by itself. I mean, it makes no sense. And, you know, I laugh because it's very absurd, but I mean, it is a very clear case in point that this man is very mentally ill. So, yep. That is really what he believes, by the way. Despite him tweeting much earlier, science doesn't care about what you believe. As you can see, Jacob has a great sense of irony, which he's seemingly unaware of. This will come back. Anyways, now, whereas in previous videos, Jacob had thoroughly and clearly been in the right, given his First Amendment right to film in a public space. However, this was different in the Knox County Clerks, namely because there was an actual sign specifying that he could not film. In this case, there was a double issue within him barging in and filming, as it is not actually within the regulations for him to be legally able to film, and he tries to cut the line to see what's at the front before he is swiftly stopped by an officer. Now, let's see how he is in here. Folded like an omelet. And the comments are to match. And 3 days later, we'd get the prequel to what gave Jacob his virality. I'm not going to say the name of this, but it was uploaded 9 days ago with this strange ayahuasca album cover. Here is my translation of what I could figure out. Wake up. You are absolutely my makeup. Something about forever. Baby, can't you see? We are meant to be. Stay with me. Believe. And then it transitions into this, which is psychosis. You're everything. You're not sure. Listen to me one more time. I can feel it in my veins. I haven't let go, but your presence remains the same. Maybe I'm just a fool in the rain, and I'm nothing to you and quite lame. I want to say forget, but that would be the same. And then there's more psychosis. And yes, before you ask, the word that I've been censoring is the real name of a real person. He worked at a Cracker Barrel with her for several months. How do I know this? Well, it's time to get into Jacob's clip that made him famous. In this, I will be referencing documented research, journals, etc. I will be pointing out traits Jacob has which are possible indicators towards larger, unknown aggressors. Even if Jacob does not have any actual disorders, it's helpful to know what types of mental disorder his behavior is indicative of. Please note, my intentions are not to diagnose, and I am not a licensed psychologist, so ultimately, take all of this with a grain of salt. That being said though, I did work really hard to find and read these articles, and I do feel pretty confident in my findings. Enjoy.
Need police?
Yes, sir. I just made a call and.
Come out here, let's talk.
Okay, so I was gonna go to Cracker Barrel. There's a girl there.
What's with the camera?
I just want to record the incident so I have it on file and can track everything.
Meticulous record keeping is a popular abuse tactic used by people with traits indicative of narcissistic personality disorder, as they are prone to keep tally of negative things people have done against them to an obsessive degree.
But anyways, I went to Cracker Barrel and I was going to play a song for a woman that I kind of like.
This is an example of minimalization, a manipulation technique to lower the weight of one's action, involving a denial where denial is implausible. This is more subtle, as it's implied denial, but he begins the story with innocence and an emphasis that he kinda liked the girl. In reality, we know the song was a psychotic dub mix of Screamo and was literally made solely for the girl, as her first name is the title. Something to note, I also read it is a frequent technique of narcissists to minimalize their actions and maximize the reaction they receive, which is exactly what we are about to see.
And I got there and she saw me and she immediately pulled away.
This is a lie by omission. It has to be. We're missing key context here, as it doesn't make sense for her to immediately pull away after he pulls up, unless he was already blaring the music, had already exited his car, and went up to talk to her. It could be a whole slew of things. Either way, we can be pretty confident Jacob isn't a reliable narrator. But since we don't have the victim's testimony, we must use his own flawed testimony and bad attempts to manipulation to damn him. Luckily, in his case, it's more than enough. Even better, but less than 20 seconds later, Jacob proves me right.
And I wasn't forcing her to listen or anything, you know. I just wanted to play the song for her, you know, give her her own choice if she wanted to be with me, you know.
Does she know you?
Yeah, I worked with her there for like 5-6 months.
Did y'all have a relationship?
No, we were talking a little bit, but it never really got serious.
Okay.
But anyways, I pulled up there, and I was in the other parking lot, and I saw her get in her car, and I was like, oh shoot, it's my moment. So I pulled up there next to her, and she...
We don't know how long Jacob was in the other parking lot, and I'm not gonna dox the local Cracker Barrel for the sake of showing blueprints, especially considering the victim is alive and hopefully well. Either way, the way he initially sequences the events makes it seem much different than the objective truth, which Jacob is somehow bold enough to say.
Pulled away from me, and so I chased her a little bit.
He literally admits to chasing her a little bit. Why?
Because, I don't know, women are crazy. Like, I felt like she, like, wanted me to chase her.
Do you not think chasing somebody's crazy?
Well, it's just like, I only went like a couple blocks down.
This, again, is textbook minimalizing speech in order to reduce the impact of his behavior.
Down the street.
I'm just saying, don't you think chasing somebody's crazy when they obviously don't want to?
Well, I had my song playing, and I wanted to, like, her to hear it, maybe.
Well, apparently she didn't want to hear it, right? So what else happened? Let's get on with the story.
Well, anyways, her father called me up, and he made some threats to me and to my life.
Okay.
And so I just want to have his name on file.
What did he say to you?
I think he said he's going to stab me, like, but he's, like, cussing at me.
He said that, or he did?
Both of the officers responded correctly here, first pressing Jacob on his claim that the father threatened his life, and the second one forcing clarification on, you think he threatened to stab you?
He says, I'm going to do something to you. I swear I do something to you.
For chasing his daughter?
Yeah.
It's much more vague and unfocused than Jacob initially made it sound like. And, as the older officer says, it's for chasing the daughter.
But it wasn't chasing. It was like going down a couple streets. Like, that's like fun to women. Like, women like that. A little bit of excitement.
No, they don't.
Well,
Women don't like to be chased.
I hate that this is an exceptional thing to me, but I've seen way too many cases where officers don't take the needs of women especially seriously in harassment. So it makes me very happy to see so much immediate pushback from the older officer. Despite Jacob's delusions that women like to be chased, he is unable to put the officers in his world.
What about like
If I was a
Porn.
father, I'd probably tell you the same thing.
what about like BDSM porn where women like to have rape fantasies?
The officer's face here says more than I can.
Well, apparently this girl doesn't.
Well, who knows? Most women do like having rape fantasies.
Okay. Do you think she does?
I don't know. But
Apparently she don't.
Even when the officer goes with part of Jacob's delusion, in his implied concession of most women have rape fantasies, by asking, well, does this one? Apparently not. So, he's attempting to refuse him on terms Jacob can understand, but he won't take the hint, which brings the officer to his next question.
well,
So what do you want us to do?
well, I just want you to get his name on file just in case he does do anything
do
to
you
me.
know his name?
I know his daughter's name.
What do you know his name?
I know her name. I don't know his name. He called me from a restricted phone number.
Okay. Here's my suggestion. Leave her alone.
Well, this was one song I made, and this was the final chance I was going to have.
Here's my chance. Here's my advice. It's over. Leave her alone.
Okay.
Fathers will hurt you over their daughters.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is she needs to have her own free will, man. You don't understand? I'm a man myself, bro, and I have needs myself.
She's choosing her free will by telling her daddy what happened to you, and I'm telling you, stay away from her because he will hurt you probably.
Just like how earlier, the officer used implication to try to level with Jacob, he uses it here in the form of his advice. He doesn't at any point say, after which you can call us, or, I'm so sorry that happened. In fact, he said, if I was the dad, I probably would have done the same.
She's being controlled by him.
That's fine. That's fine. That's her choice, right? Free choice, free will.
I think she should go do porn.
Okay, you need to leave.
When you have thoroughly disgusted even an officer of the law who has presumably had to deal with felons and criminals of all kinds every day, to the point at which they tell you to leave, not good.
It's legal.
You need to leave.
Well,
We're not doing anything. You need to leave.
I'm having discussion on.
I'm having a discussion telling you to leave.
Are you threatening me with
I'm
arrest?
not threatening you. I'm telling you to leave.
This
We're
is a
done.
public property.
We're done. Well, you can stay if you want.
If you do that on public property, I'll leave under.
You're free to do whatever you want to right here, but we're not doing anything else. I'm just giving you advice. If the girl doesn't want to talk to you, leave her alone.
You're not going to get.
What's her name? I will go speak with her, and then we.
Yes.
I was going to say good on him for censoring the girl's name, but he doesn't censor the spelling of her last name. And given the fact that her first name is on the song he had, means he basically did not censor it. So I obviously censored it.
What's your name?
Jacob.
Jacob
Yerkes. Yerkes.
Y-E-R.
Kes.
Jacob, Y-E-R-K-E-S?
Yes, sir.
You have a phone number where I can reach you?
865.
Okay, I will go speak with her and see what her side of the story is, and then I'll get back in touch with you. But
May I get y'all's names and badge numbers,
My name's
please?
Ron Reagan. I'm Sergeant Reagan. I'm day shift supervisor. My number is 429.
Massive shout out, number 429, Sergeant Reagan, for that masterful handling of the situation and making sure it was properly taken care of. Give this guy a promotion for doing his job right. So, which is rare in too many places. So,
Yes, sir.
Here's the thing. My advice to you is leave her alone because the father's not happy, and things can happen. Unfortunately.
I think she's been controlled all her life, though.
Well, she may be, but that's her choice. Free will, right? What you said, free will?
Yeah, kind of, I guess. I mean,
Does she not have free will to be controlled by her father if she wishes?
Yeah, but there's something's twisted about that.
There's something twisted about the way you think.
He tries as hard as he can to level with Jacob by relating things back to the girl's free will. But when Jacob pushes back, he makes it exceedingly clear they're not on the same side.
I was going to let her make her own choice after the song.
Well, she's made her choice.
And I just don't think she had a reasonable opportunity to make a choice, because I'm going to blow up, and I'm going to be a famous DJ, and I'm going to be
How old is she?
2 years older than me. 27.
How much?
27?
She's old enough to make her own mind. I'll speak with her. Is she working today?
I think so.
Do you have her phone number?
I believe so. But I can't stop recording the video.
Well, that's okay. I'll go by her job. She works at Cracker Barrel, right?
Correct.
Okay, I'll speak with her and then I'll get back with you, okay?
Alrighty, sounds good.
All right, have a good one.
Thank you, guys. Lindsay's dad. I hope you see this fucking video. You know what happens when women don't ever, come to terms with themselves? Bad shit happens.
Remind you of anyone?
I don't know. Something, the cops want to deny me trying to get her to be straight.
Newsflash to anyone below the age of 5, mentally or literally, that is not how this works. You cannot turn someone straight. Sorry.
Something is wrong about that. I don't see why these traditional ass motherfuckers think they can speak shit whenever it's this woke, belligerent LGBT shit that has her right now.
Not really sure where Jacob decided that consent equals LGBTQ. Now, it could be true that she is a member, but that is completely beyond the point, as the reason it was an issue to the police was because she clearly didn't want to see him or talk to him, as indicated by her fleeing, in which he admits to following. Jacob takes this to mean the police protect and side with woke progressives. This is disturbing because it clearly does not follow logic.
And her father is controlling the bullshit? I just don't see it. I'm older than her fucking father? That's how I feel right now. I've lived this life. I've been the greatest. I've been down and I've been about. I don't know where this is going, but fucking snakes, man. She was gonna lure me into a trap.
If by lure into a trap, he means run away when he starts playing the frightening dubstep screamo song, I guess he's right. This is overwhelmingly delusional. The daughter literally just being afraid enough to tell her father makes her the one luring him into a trap. And then, 3 days ago, the nuke dropped.
Tactical nuke incoming!
We have rape fantasies.
So apparently this really does.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
TOS! TOS! TOS!
So, now we're caught up to what I ran into yesterday. I suppose if anything, this video is a self-report, but either way, this is when a 100,000 plus follower Twitter account, Ask Aubrey, tweeted a clip of the video with the following caption. Many people were hopping on the bandwagon against Jacob. Boblax could make a whole Twitter versus about him. According to Aubrey, Jacob was trying to turn straight. I am going to censor that. Which leads me to believe she is gay. I reached out to Aubrey to possibly hear from the woman herself and get her story, while obviously offering to keep her identity anonymous. And Aubrey sent my details along to her, but I never heard back. I still really appreciate Aubrey for sending along the information and even replying to my tiny Twitter account in the DMs. So thank you, Aubrey. And while I'm on this, if you want more people to be able to respond to me and take me seriously so we can have more details for stories like this, follow my Twitter. So, after the nuke dropped on Aubrey's account, people eventually found Jacob's YouTube. Things would quickly devolve. He began making arguments about how "Baby, It's Cold Outside" proves women like unwanted advances, as told in his brief follow-up to the first police visit, which is lost to time. After this, he begins heavily leaning into the Screamo rap. Face the suffering of your sins. Ego beings are maggots. Explosions of sinning. Kinetic energy. And 2 uploads yesterday. This song, Don't Grab Her by the P. Future H coming back to present the report on the discussion video. It is almost completely incomprehensible, and it very much resembles what I've heard psychosis speech or disturbed speech is like. I figured he'd at least mention the situation once to double down, defend it, or something, but no, he says nothing about it. If anything, I find this scarier, as he clearly has a disconnect with what's going on around him.
But anyhow, yeah, I really do think that might be the divine truth, is that, you know, we just live in kind of an insignificant universe, and God's really not at play, other than maybe our karma and our sin in that little purgatory middle area. I don't know. Perhaps it is something like that, though, and that is why children suffer.
Now that we've discussed the extent of his YouTube, I think it's time we get into his Twitter, so we can create an accurate picture of who we're dealing with here. Now, overwhelmingly, between the 100 plus screenshots I took of his account, the biggest consistency is really the inconsistency. There will be some days where Jacob will post almost 30 times, and it will vary in his cohesiveness and overall message. He's a big fan of any kind of contradictive media, and is showcased here. Although, funnily enough, I looked into this one and it's true. Harry Potter Jr. is technically the main character of Troll, and being in a world of magic is where the similarities end. Back to Jacob. When you see a few of these, it's easy to forget he's not just a cringe contrarian who likes sharing quirky little facts online. But let's move deeper down. A lot of distrust in institutions. Seeming aggravation towards the government to an extent. He idolizes Russian culture for its masculinity. And for lack of a better word, their emphasis on going ahead when women do not want it. He idolizes Russian culture, and he jumps to talk about the U.S. falling short whenever he can, culturally especially. This extends further to organized religion, which Jacob seems to have a fixation on. On one end, I don't think he likes the followers of Christianity, but he gives mixed, if not optimistic, signals towards Islam due to their oppression of women. Wow, never heard somebody want to practice a religion because of that, but oh, and then also because they oppress wokeness and Reddit, and yeah, I don't want to comment on his view of the other Abrahamic religion. Here's a few great articles I read on religiosity and psychotic illnesses. Despite the somewhat muddled, holistic outlook, he seems attracted to anything stereotypically thought to be un-American, with a whole tweet dedicated to Shiva, the creator goddess in Hinduism, and a few referencing Buddhism. So, too, must I point out that there is a pattern over multiple months of Jacob soying over ayahuasca, which is funny because when I made that joke, I hadn't even made the connection. I don't know if he actually used, and I really have no desire to find out. Irregardless, ayahuasca is religiously and ceremoniously used, so recreational use of it is highly frowned upon, especially when you have evident mental health issues like Jacob does. Here's a great article on the misuse of hallucinogens and their potential effect of psychosis. Another thing I passively noticed on his YouTube, but intentionally didn't comment on until now, was his obsession with Norse mythology. Now, there is a certain reputation with people obsessed with the Vikings for all the wrong reasons. Meet Jeremy Joseph Christian. He had some clear psychotic issues and went down a dark path of conspiracy, white supremacy, and Nordic obsession. This ended in him stabbing 2 people to death after an aggressive altercation with 2 Muslim women. I think Jacob's hatred is much more focused on women, but this is certainly an undertone with a lot of his posts. Similar to his Viking proclivities, he loves Nietzsche and prides himself on understanding him and Darwin. I'm not naming names. He's also a massive Lovecraft guy. Probably the only person who likes H.P. Lovecraft's works because of the kind of person he was. Whereas the white supremacy dog whistles are more undertones, he is just flagrantly anti-handicap of any kind. He also loves the queen of capitalism, Ayn Rand. Let's read a few of his favorite quotes. These are before I read this quote. This is an Ayn Rand quote. I do not condone this in any way, shape, or form. In any way. I think that this is absolutely wrong. Okay. I think it's a monstrous thing. The whole progression of everything they're doing to feature or answer or favor the incompetent, the retarded, the handicapped, including, the kneeling buses and all kinds of impossible expenses. I do not think that the retarded should be allowed near children. Children cannot deal and should not have to deal with the very tragic spectacle of a handicapped human being. When they grow up, they might give it some attention if they're interested, but it should never be presented to them in childhood. And certainly not as an example of something they have to live down to. That's really bad. That is like, I mean, it's weird because why doesn't he want like children or like adults to be able to interact with them unless they like specially request to be able to interact with them? But either way, what I will say is that anyone who would say this clearly doesn't know what they're talking about. They don't understand, like, they've not actually interacted with anyone who deals with any form of mental illness. Because what you start to realize is that no mental illness is, quote unquote, better than the other. If you deal with something, you are able to relate on a very basic level to other people who have a mental health struggle of any kind. And I say you are able. That doesn't mean that you do. It's something you still have to make effort towards, but it's possible. Anyway, I figured we'd save the clear main course until the end to build up the smaller aggravating factors within Jacob's psychology. Without further ado though, here are the tweets everyone assumed Jake would have after seeing the video. Yep. By the way, I read the title page he provided to Sociobiology and R, as I'm not a moron, and it's a philosophical critique of sociobiologists and their justification of R as natural. Now that we've gone over the incel core content, we are almost to the end, and I want to remind you of what we started the video with one more time. When does something become concerning enough to warrant a report? Every single one of these tweets, to me, is more than enough to. a gentleman goes to the law before revealing his beast to another man. Even her own dad couldn't control his beast. I read this tweet a bunch of times and I actually had no idea what it meant. I really just thought it was incomprehensible. I had started researching the video, and by the time I had received the reply, it was pretty late at night. And so not knowing enough, aside from his self-report to the police and the implications of this worrying tweet, I decided to wait. That night, I watched a new Explore With Us doc on Elliot Rodger, and I felt racked with guilt, concerned that everyone who came across this tweet did the same thing as me, assuming others would report his behavior, and that the authorities were handling it. I desperately hoped and prayed that I wasn't now becoming complicit in a too little too late situation. But then, something really, really rare happened. We won. Jacob is in jail without bond. I think that there's more than enough evidence that things would have continued to escalate. So, ultimately, I don't know what Jacob is. However, I do want to end on this note. I got into a little spat on the Bird app with someone who decided it was appropriate to say Jacob's actions were typical Republican, quote unquote. I am not a Republican, and I would not describe myself formally as a Democrat, but I do not believe this to be partisan in the very least. Yes, if we placed Jacob on the political compass, he would be far, far right. That being said, I think all of us normies, be it right, left, moderate, maybe even some of the extremes, can unite over the fact that Jacob Yerkes is a stupid, misogynistic freak, and it's a good thing he's in a cell where he can't elevate his actions beyond stalking and harassment. I think in this case, the Loudoun County Police have appropriately handled the situation, so shout out to them. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Next time on Touring Tartarus, we're going NASCAR. I'm sure that you guys have heard of YouTube icebergs. How about YouTube zoos?